Hey, I hope you guys have somebody somewhat technical in your store, because if you do, bring them over so you can watch this video. We are making this video to simplify the process of you unpacking and installing the Debbie Brooks Tower display. It has been very well received. A lot of stores have signed on to the Debbie Brooks Store and Store Tower display, and we are making this video to help you in the unpacking of the tower, as well as putting in the various components that will be shipped separately to your display. So, you will receive a box similar to this. It'll probably have way more tape on it, and there won't be a gap here, but we're trying to be green and we're trying to save money. So, when you get this box, the first thing you're going to want to do is take a utility knife and cut off the corners. It's quite likely it's going to be a little less pristine than you see right here. So you're going to cut off the corners off your box very carefully and delicately. Cut through all the tape. If you do notice a big hole in the box or a big gash, please bring that to the attention of our shipper. Hopefully that will not happen. Now, this tower display is actually screwed to the pallet. So don't try to rip this off because it's not going to work for you. Now, there's several ways to unpack this, okay? You can start by cutting the corners entirely. Okay, the corners are pretty safe. So you could literally cut through here, cut down here, cut that corner. So once again, to recap, cut the corner all the way down here, cut the corner all the way down here, cut the top flap, and this door will literally flap right down. Now, once you've done that, you're going to have a window to this Debbie Brooks Tower. Okay, now what you've created is a door, a hinge kind of door. It's going to be a lot bigger because you're going to have the top section too. A hinge door to access your cabinet. Now again, remember, the cabinet itself is screwed to the base from the inside. Don't try to rip the cabinet out. Don't try to pry it off. What you're going to want to do is unscrew it. I highly recommend a screw gun. Screwdriver will work, but you will like a screw gun a lot better. Okay, so this is now nicely wrapped up. You want to get the best access you can. I mean, it depends on how it's oriented, but basically what you're going to want to do is cut this foam very carefully. Now this is all open, so you don't have to worry about destroying the hardwood. The hardwood is on the corners. So you're going to want to cut this right down the middle. Alright, so you've got 4 screws here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Regular sheetrock screws. And what you're going to want to do is take your screw gun and just unscrew them. Now the unit is no longer screwed to the base. So now we can take this cabinet and slide it right off. Now, it's very lightweight. Weighs less than 40 pounds. The next step would be to unravel the foam. If you can reuse the foam, that would be great. Green is good. If not, well, garbage is okay too. Alright, so now you have the cabinet. It's been removed from the box. We can take it out a little bit further. Best way to carry this, one hand here, one hand here. Lean this against your shin. You can walk it around the place. It's really lightweight. Obviously, I'm guessing you've determined where you would like the cabinet in your store. So now would be the point at which we would put it in the place that it's going to reside. Do it now, because once you put the shelves in, it's going to be heavy and it's going to be cumbersome, and we don't advise you carrying it with the shelves in it. So now here's the body of the unit. You got some foam pieces here. I want to take those out. You know, inspect the unit for damage. If there's anything broken, cracked, whatever it might be, now would be the time to give me a call. First thing you want to do is remove the shrink wrap. This is holding in the shelf rests. With vibration in transit, it's likely they would all fall out, and it's likely some will have fallen out. So we have given you extras. Okay, everything is now unwrapped. Why don't you come a little bit closer? I want to show you the inside. What's nice about this unit is if you happen to have a floor receptacle, you can literally place this directly over the floor receptacle and just take the unit and plug it in. Now, what a lot of our stores will do is they'll actually plug in a timer so that this thing will go on automatically and go off at night. These are LED lighting, low wattage, state-of-the-art. You can leave it on all night. It probably cost you a couple of dollars a month. I believe most of our stores do leave it on, but we generally recommend a timer. There is no switch on it. A lot of our stores will also plug it into an outlet, and then they'll shut off their circuit breaker panel at the end of the night to shut off all the towers and all the cases in their store. So, first thing you want to do is situate it where it's going to go. Figure out how you're going to plug it in. If the plug is directly below, just plug it in. If not, you're going to take this cable, you're going to unclip it from here, and you're just going to put it underneath the cabinet. Okay, so you found a home for it, you've plugged it in, life is good. Now you start assembly. Now, we've taken the liberty of numbering all your components, and generally what we do here is we start from the bottom. So, number one, that's your mirror. Okay, very simple. You want to drop it in and angle it up this way. There might be a little bit of friction on one end. No problem. Just push it down. That's a good thing, and it stays in place. Okay, so that's level one. Okay, level two is what we like to call the phone cake. This is our phone cake, and there should be a number on this. Number two, phone cake. Don't hold it by here. Don't hold it by here. Hold it by the bottom. It's a little heavy, not ridiculously so. Angle it into the cabinet and drop it down. So we've just installed our foam cake. This should spin freely. Make sure it does. And we've got 2 levels in. Now we're going to go for our next level. This is number 1, this is number 2, so we're going to go for number 3. Now number 3 has an LED light strip attached to it. Okay, and it's glued here on the side. It's supposed to be that way. It's got these little black blocks, and it's numbered number 3. Basically the same process. What we're going to want to do is we're going to put it in and drop it down. Now, you can come a little bit closer. What we want to do is spin this so the distance from here to here and here to here is the same. And you want to make sure that wire has gone underneath that shelf rest, not in between the shelf rest and the glass. So this distance, and you don't have to do anything other than eyeball it. So our lights are right across the front. Okay. This will then plug into, you come over here, this outlet back here. And that plugs in right there like that. Very straightforward. Okay, now you have your 3rd shelf in. We're almost home. Okay, 4th shelf. 4th shelf has the distinctive turntable. And these are the additional shelf rests that we have provided for you, just in case. So it's got the distinctive turntable, and it will also have the number 4 on it. 4. All right. So we take our unit, and again, you don't want to hold it by the turntable, you want to hold it by the bottom. You've got your cable on the right-hand side. You come in. Now, this one's a little bit trickier. You will notice that there's a missing shelf rest over here. You got one here, you got one here, you got one here. Well, we do that intentionally because in order to get this in, you have to do it the way I'm doing it. You have to start on the right side, and you have to drop it in carefully in between the 2 shelf rests. Got it? If this shelf rest was here, you would not be able to put this in. Okay, so now that it's in, you can actually insert that shelf rest. And here we have number 4. Now again, we want to follow the same thing. We want to make sure that LED light, the same distance from the side, you can actually eyeball it this way and see. Again, this is not entirely critical, but ideally you'd like it parallel to that one. And then you want to do the same thing we did before, except you want to plug it into the upper plug. And there is play here, so you can always adjust the shelves. Initially, please follow our spacing, but depending on the product categories that you offer, you may change that. And you're now ready for shelf number 5. All right, now we have shelf number 4 with the turntable. This is where you'll be putting your magnifabs. That extra pin. The shelf we're going to put on top is, of course, going to be number 5. Number 5 has these little nibs here. You'll see what that's for very shortly. And this will just drop in, like you dropped in everything else, right on top. Make sure that still spins freely. Shouldn't be an issue. And then your last shelf, number 6. 6. Very straightforward. Angle it up. And drop her right in. Voila! Now we're almost completed. We have all our shelves in. Now we got to figure out what these little black little nubs are. Well, they're actually to hold the top tier sections here that we have. Now, on the lower shelf, we put the thinner of the 2. You'll notice one is higher, 3.5 inches. This is 2.5 inches. We put the lower one, the thinner one, because that's to hold our wrist bags or our CPCs. And they will fit nicely over those nubs. And that will fit right nicely over the nubs. The whole point of this is so it doesn't slide when your customer touches it. So that's done, and that's for your wrist bags. And we're going to do the same thing here. Take the 3.5 inch version. We're going to slide these in here. Make sure it sits all over the nubs, not on top like that. Sometimes you have to do a little bit of wiggling and jury rigging. And we got our other one. Perfect. Now generally we put our tiny shoulder bags here, our fashion clutches, our wrist bags, iPhone covers, Samsung covers, DS big bags down there. You could put a small little evening bag there, it looks kind of cool. Clutches go up here. Now we have provided, if you have ordered clutches, we have provided little displays for the clutches. And those sit right here, and then the clutch sits right in there. We have also provided, if you have cuffs, displays for your cuffs. And we have pictures that we can provide for you with different merchandising options for this display. Generally, we do one in the middle, you do one on the end, one here, and you put the little cuff displays at the intersection points. But there will be pictures provided for you so you can be creative with your merchandising, and please, we'd like you to be creative with your merchandising. Now the final step, the most exciting, is plugging her in. Now, at this point you should have light. If you don't have light, we got a couple things we can do. If for whatever reason there's no light here or there's no light here, check your connection. Make sure you've plugged it in completely. Make sure there are no loose wires. Now, bear in mind this is 12 volts, so you're not going to electrocute yourself. You don't have to worry. It's a low voltage system, so there's no issue with touching these plugs, so on and so forth. So you should have light here. You should have light here. And if you don't, for whatever reason, after doing the troubleshooting I just suggested, give me a call. And we should be all set to go now. There is one final thing, and this is critically important. This is not glass. This is acrylic. Do not ever use Windex. Let me repeat that. Do not use Windex. Now, what we have done, in your package, you will be getting a microfiber cloth and a little bottle of acrylic cleaner. And as you can see, this is really dusty, and it'll probably be dusty when it gets to you as well. You basically take that acrylic cleaner, and you just go over it, clean it, and then you use a dry one of these, and then you buff it. And those acrylic cleaners are absolutely fantastic. In terms of day-to-day maintenance, we recommend a Swiffer. The Swiffers have this anti-static thing, and you can go in here daily and just Swift the whole thing, and that should certainly solve the problem of having to take everything off the display, clean it, which I'm sure nobody wants to do. But the Swiffer, every morning, boom, 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 you're ready to go. Once again, don't use Windex. If you have any further questions that we haven't addressed here, please let me know. And I look forward to being at your service for whatever your future needs are. And good luck selling with our new Debbie Brooks Tower. Thank you.